Wins News Time 6:26. That brings us to Bloomberg Money Watch, and here's Andrew O'Day.
A new age in the TV business begins as the USA watches less USA, and for that matter, other cable channels. Fresh numbers from Nielsen show that broadcast and cable TV viewing has now dropped so far that for the first time ever, we watched more streaming last month than broadcast and cable put together. Tariff anxiety appears to be setting in with consumers. Retail sales in May fell 0.9%, largest decline since the start of the year, with 7 of 13 categories posting drops. The Commerce Department says some of the biggest sales declines were in purchases of cars and building equipment. Other signs of a cooling economy include today's read on industrial production that dropped for the second time in 3 months, and a report that shows confidence among home builders is down to the lowest level since the end of 2022. Fresh angst over Mideast military escalation helped sink stocks today. Dow fell 299, NASDAQ down 180, S&P down 50. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Andrew O'Day for 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
And now this message: injured, contact Stephen Harris and the Harris Law Firm at harrislawnyc.com.
I vote to protect our community's future.
I vote to fight back against rising hate.
I vote because we need leaders to see us and protect us.
Because in some races, the primary is the election.
This election isn't just politics, it's personal.
Silence is not an option.
The safety and future of our community are on the ballot. Let's make our voices heard. Vote early on June 14th or on Election Day, June 24th. Don't kvetch, vote.
Paid for by Jewish Voters Unite.
Just got my car right here at Dana Ford. Just got my car right here at Dana Ford.
Save today. With employee pricing at Dana, now you pay what we pay. Shop online for over 800 Ford. Like the all-new 2025 Ford Bronco Big Bend. Lease $348 a month, 36 months, 0 security, $29.95 due at signing. Details at DanaFordDeals.com. Dana Ford, Staten Island.
With approved credit, dealer retains Ford rebates. Expires 6/30/25.
The success you've had in life matters. The late nights, the extra shifts, the moments you've stood up and said, I've got this. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we value your achievements because we're a school for real life. With UMGC, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and relevant life and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer scholarships, affordable tuition, and online and hybrid classes, all with the support you need from your first day to graduation day and beyond. As an accredited state university, we've been transforming lives for over 75 years. Choose from more than 135 undergraduate and graduate degrees and certificates, and get ready to succeed again. Get an affordable online skills-based education to move your career forward. UMGC offers no-cost digital materials in place of textbooks in most courses, low-cost tuition, and over $21 million in scholarship opportunities each aid year. Find out if you qualify at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
We are the National Park Foundation, and together with you, we're creating a future where every person, every generation, gets their chance at an unforgettable moment. Learn more at nationalparks.org/foundation.
66 degrees with maybe some thunderstorms around. The full details on your 4-day AccuWeather forecast straight ahead. I'm Paul Murnane. Wins News Time 6:30.
Good evening. I'm Lori Madden. A story up is rolling out the red carpet for the Boys and Girls Club in a very big way.
Plans include a 6-lane swimming pool, Queens First Planetarium, a 400-seat school, and 236 units of affordable housing.
When fully constructed, the Variety Boys and Girls Club of Queens will be the largest in the entire nation.
City Council Speaker and Democratic mayoral candidate Adrienne Adams helping secure over $7 million for the project that CEO Costa Constantinides says will serve 16,000 young New Yorkers.
They're going to get a hot meal, they're going to help with their homework, and then they're going to be able to chase their dreams and their passions, whatever those things are.
The club is seeking $5 million more to begin construction this December. Marla Diamond, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in Astoria.
Wins News Time 6:31. Time now for expanded traffic and transit. Here's Greg Rice.
Well, here is the east side of Manhattan. Northbound FDR Drive getting up past East 38th. You have the broken down van in the left lane, minivan, and a slow ride all the way back towards 23rd Street. More brake lights on the northbound FDR all the way to the RFK. Southbound FDR is sluggish down to 14th Street. Either way, but especially southbound, the West Side Highway is going to treat you a whole lot better. Now, here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Citybound George, about an extra 15 to 20 on the upper. Lower's better. Southbound Deegan with the company from Fordham Road. That's the best of it out. Lincoln's about 15 to 20 minutes in. Outbound Lincoln about an extra 15 from 11th, better from 9th. Holland Tunnel right now, it's about an extra 20 to 30 back to Jersey. Inbound Skyway is slow. The Newark Bay, it's going to treat you a whole lot better. RFK, Whitestone, and Throgs Neck are all bad out of the Bronx. Given the choice, the RFK is not bad, but the Grand Central's a mess once you get there. Queensbound Throgs Neck and then the southbound Clearview, that's the best you are going to do at this hour. On Staten Island, the expressway is jammed up either way over to the MLK West from the Verrazano eastbound from right off of the Goethals Bridge. And if you're in a jam, call the Barnes Firm traffic tip line at 844-JAM-1010. That's 844-JAM-1010. Traffic is sponsored by the Barnes Firm. I'm Greg Rice, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
I'm Attorney Rich Barnes. If you've been in a car crash, choosing the right firm is crucial to get the help you need and the best result possible.
Injury attorneys, call 1-800-8-million.
Now the AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Brian Thompson.
Lori, it's been another day of just solid cloud cover across the area. We're starting to see a few thinner spots in the clouds developing south of the city toward the Jersey Shore, but certainly across most of the 5 boroughs right now through Long Island, the Connecticut, the Hudson Valley as well. Still a solid cloud cover. We also have some areas of fog that have developed across parts of Long Island and Connecticut as well. So cloudy, at least for most of the time tonight. It will be muggy with a shower or two, maybe a level of thunder, a low of 65, and warmer and more humid heading into tomorrow. Clouds break for some sun at times. There will be the potential for a heavy gusty thunderstorm and a high near 80. An early thunderstorm in spots tomorrow night. Otherwise, it's going to be warm and sticky with some clouds. Low temperature only 72, which is warmer than it's been really since Saturday across much of the area, where temperatures have mostly been in the 60s. And temperatures really take off on Thursday ahead of an approaching cold front. It will be humid with sun and clouds. We'll have to watch for a strong thunderstorm in the afternoon that could contain damaging winds and hail. Thursday's high 89. Less humid Friday with some sun and a high of 85, and then a pretty dry weekend ahead. Looks pretty sunny, and it looks quite warm. Highs in the upper 80s Saturday, near 90 Sunday with more humidity. Cloudy and 66 right now in Midtown. We're going down to 65. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
President Trump posting about Iran today.
President Trump writes in a new social media post Tuesday afternoon that the U.S. knows where Iran's supreme leader is hiding and adds, quote, "He is an easy target, but is safe there. We are not going to take him out, kill, at least not for now." The message coming after 2 U.S. officials told ABC News Sunday that the president rejected an Israeli plan in recent days to kill Ayatollah Khamenei. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told ABC Monday that Israel won't rule out an attempt to assassinate him. President Trump in his post Tuesday says the U.S. does not want to see missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers, adding, quote, "Our patience is wearing thin." Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
In Washington, a bipartisan measure in the House seeks to stop the U.S. from getting involved.
The measure to block the use of U.S. forces in Iran is being introduced by Kentucky Republican Thomas Massey. It already has several prominent Democratic co-sponsors. The bill invokes the 1973 War Powers Act, which calls for the removal of U.S. forces from a conflict if both houses pass a concurrent resolution. But that law, which was enacted over a president's veto, has been the subject of interbranch debate over its constitutionality since it went on the books 5 decades ago.
Correspondent Stephen Portnoy. At least 15 people are reported dead, nearly 160 injured after Russia bombarded Kyiv with a missile and drone attack. A 9-story apartment building was destroyed. President Volodymyr Zelensky said the attack, which lasted for nearly 9 hours, was one of the most terrifying strikes yet. He says Russia fired more than 440 drones and 32 missiles. The attack came after 2 rounds of direct peace talks failed to make progress on ending the war. Wins News Time 6:36.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
It's not just women who contend with postpartum depression. Research says new dads should be screened.
There's growing evidence that the mental health of new fathers can impact their children. A review published in JAMA Pediatrics finds paternal depression, anxiety, and stress in the period during and after pregnancy are associated with worse child development outcomes in social, emotional, cognitive, and language areas. Researchers say new fathers should be screened early for mental health issues.
Correspondent Michael George. 66 degrees now, cloudy here in the city, although we do have pockets of drizzle, maybe a shower coming down in spots. That will continue throughout the night. Addison Rae is heading to Brooklyn. That story's next.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plan started just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Now 1010 wins entertainment. Addison Rae is hitting the road in her first ever headlining world tour. The Addison Tour pulls into the Brooklyn Paramount October 1st. Pre-sale begins tomorrow. The curtain is coming down on Tony-nominated musical Real Women Have Curves. The show will play its final performance June 29.
Entertainment on 1010 Wins is sponsored by Shulman & Hill, New York's injury lawyers.
Go to hurtny.com.
That's hurtny.com.
New Yorkers are already struggling with high costs. So why are politicians in Albany trying to pass extreme new regulations that would make groceries and other everyday products more expensive? Don't they keep promising to lower costs? Legislators are rushing through yet another senseless tax plan and are considering legislation that's disguised as an environmental solution. Instead, it will increase costs on consumers and local businesses, including higher costs on food and beverages. It will even force some production lines to halt, risking good-paying union jobs, and in some cases, removing household goods from store shelves. Instead of taking a radical approach, legislators should improve recycling without raising costs on shoppers and local businesses. Call your assembly member at 518-455-4100. Tell them to join working families and small businesses in opposing A1749. Brought to you by New Yorkers for Better Recycling, paid for by the American Beverage Association.
All News 92.3 FM, powered by 1010 Wins.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good evening, 66 degrees at 640. I'm Lori Madden, and here's what's happening.
You don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens.
New York City Controller and mayoral candidate Brad Lander, as he's handcuffed and detained by federal agents at Immigration Court in Lower Manhattan, where he was accompanying a man to a hearing. Governor Hochul said charges against Lander were dropped, but federal prosecutors say they're investigating. Police say a man wearing a construction vest shot and killed another man near St. Mary's Park in the South Bronx. Hoboken one step closer to barring landlords from using AI to set rent. A driver takes a spin down Rome's landmark Spanish Steps. In sports tonight, Yankees host the Angels, Mets at the Braves. 1010 Wins AccuWeather says we could see some drizzle during the game tonight. Nothing major, nothing that should delay the game. Low 65 degrees. Warmer, more humid tomorrow. We could see some strong thunderstorms. Wins News Time 641, time now for expanded traffic and transit. From the Mercedes-Benz of Edison.com Traffic Center, here's Greg Rice.
Lori, looking at the 1010 Winds jam cam at the George. Traffic's getting a little bit better as visibility isn't. You're looking at a lot of fog rolling through that area. So if you're on the upper level, you're going to deal with about a 15 to 20 minute backup and perhaps some visibility issues. The lower level is better on all fronts. Southbound Deegan, the best of it out with traffic from south of Fordham Road. Everything else is worse. Lincoln Tunnel into the city is about 15 minutes, 10 minutes out to Holland. It's about 15 to 20 on the go-home side. Inbound Skyway is a bit slow. Newark Bay is better. Brooklyn Bridge, city-bound Midtown Tunnel, Queens-bound Whitestone and Throgs Neck still pretty slow. The RFK has gotten a whole lot better. So is the eastbound side of the Grand Central Parkway once you're off of the span. East side of Manhattan, northbound FDR also much improved. Getting up towards East 38th Street, the earlier broken down minivan in the left lane, they went and got rid of that, but still a whole lot of traffic after that on the northbound FDR from the Queensboro Bridge up to the Willis Avenue Bridge, and the southbound FDR is slowing to the 70s, especially downtown bound. The west side highway is going to treat you a whole lot better. Traffic and transit every 10 minutes on the ones and breaking traffic alerts whenever they happen. I'm Greg Rice. Our next report is at 6:51. 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
New York City Controller and mayoral candidate Brad Lander got a first-hand experience with ICE today, or with some type of federal agent. He was arrested while accompanying a man to immigration court in Lower Manhattan. In video of the incident, the agents, some of the masks, do not seem to identify themselves. They're seen pushing Lander up against a wall and handcuffing him.
Brad Lander had been coming to immigration court for 3 weeks to escort people out.
I believe it is important to show up and bear witness and accompany people, and to do it in the tradition of nonviolent witness.
But this time it was violent.
You have no authority to arrest U.S. citizens. Where are you taking them? And with what authority?
All I tried to do was just hold Edgardo's arm and ask the ICE agents, do you have a warrant? And I said I'd let go of his arm as soon as they showed it to me, and they did not show it to me.
Lander was freed after several hours and a visit from Governor Hochul.
There are no charges. Charges have been dropped.
Lander says due process rights are under attack. Mac Rosenberg, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM in Lower Manhattan.
The U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District says it's still investigating the incident. Hochul wasn't the only official who showed up in support of Lander today.
Elected officials joined protesters in Foley Square. State Senator Andrew Gennard is urging the crowd not to live in fear.
They want to silence us. They want to drive us all into the shadows, and they want to start with the people who don't look like them.
Jasmine Gripper with the New York State Working Families Party called the arrests lawless and disgraceful.
And what ICE is doing illegally and making sure that not only does Brad Lander come home, but the other immigrants who are being held out are allowed to go back home to their families.
Marla Diamond, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM outside the Federal Building in Lower Manhattan.
A number of Lander's fellow mayoral candidates, including Zoran Mamdani, Andrew Cuomo, and Adrian Adams, denounced the arrest. The press secretary for Mayor Adams released a statement that said, in part, today should not be about Brad Lander. It's about making sure all New Yorkers feel safe enough to use public resources and do not hide in the shadows. Police are looking for the gunman who shot and killed a man in the South Bronx this morning. It happened around 7:45 near St. Mary's Park at Trinity Avenue and East 149th Street. The circumstances and whether this was a targeted shooting are not clear. Police say a man wearing a green construction vest apparently pulled the trigger, fled down 149th. The 38-year-old man who was shot was pronounced dead at St. Barnabas Hospital. A robot will not be setting the rent in Hoboken. Mayor Ravi Bala says he will sign a new bill expected to pass next month that bars landlords from using AI to set rent. But he'd like to see more done.
What we would like to see as a next step is for the state of New Jersey to pass state legislation to make rent-setting algorithms using artificial intelligence illegal, not just at the city level, but for the entire state of New Jersey.
The bill has been advanced by the Hoboken City Council. Jersey City passed a similar law. The jury in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking trial could begin deliberations as early as next week.